Okay. We got a special episode today for y'all. As you can see, this is the Healing Vibe Show with myself, King Simon, and
Carrie Ann.
that's right, Carrie Ann is in the background. We're gonna bring her up. She's in Toronto. You know how we do. Here we go.
Woo!
Yes. Carrie Ann, before she come on, a pure gunshot. She give she gives to some people. So we have to make sure because she has a 9 alignment number. So that's very argumentative and very warish. So we gotta make sure we don't take set panar because she she a warrior. You know what I'm saying? And that you're the type of person without things and certain things in place, yeah, that would do exactly what that is. You know what I'm saying? So I understand. That's why they chose women in warriorship without children, without no ties to nobody. And that's where they was the killers. So I got it. I understand. So praise the Lord and pass the
I
ammunition.
wouldn't hurt regular folks. It would just be if you
Pass
harm
the
my
ammunition.
child. If you harm my child,
Oh yes.
feel
Well,
sorry.
Today we just got a call from Baba James Smalls. So I just got a call while we was coming on, and he's gonna go to the car and actually get on through his phone. Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes. Baba James Smalls is up. Wait a minute. I didn't even press this button, girl. I'm sorry. we here doing what we gotta do. Family. I'm sorry.
King
Uh,
Simon is excited today. He's
yeah,
excited.
it's excited. I started on Instagram, but I did not start. I thought I was starting it on everything else, but I started on Instagram, but I did not start it on YouTube and or Facebook. So, wow, this is what we doing. This is what we doing here. The gal get me nervous in a bridges. I talk sitting before we
You're
come
too
on this
funny.
scene. She talk a whole heap of sitting. Y'all know, know what this girl starts with,
Me never. What?
And don't let
What do
she
you
lick over
say?
she lick over she talawa. Lick over with talawa. You
Right?
know,
Very
that's the
Jamaican.
that's the kind of people you just
Very
like, baby, calm down, baby, calm down. I got this. Calm down. No,
But that's
I
my child. They
want
hurt my child.
I'm not talking about. I know. I'm talking about just in the street. We going out on a date and somebody say crazy. You be like, "What
Oh
the
no.
we throwing?" Let
No,
me
no,
take it,
no. I have
baby. Handle this.
zero. For me, I have zero time for that. I'm
Uh,
loving. That's where I'm loving. Like you harm my child. Oh my
but that's
God! Forget about your life.
a whole different thing. Yeah,
That's
if
a
you harm children, it's
whole
a whole
different. Oh
different
my
thing.
God! That is Mama Bear, Lioness. Like everything is coming out. When I had an
Mm.
animal, like I was not, taking anybody's crap. An animal. So imagine a life form.
Right.
No.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's important that people recognize. I'm just texting Baba Smalls, making sure everything is all right.
Okay.
He's walking to the car right now. Right now, our dear Baba is one of the consultants for The Godfather in Harlem. So they got a new series they about to produce. So he's very much trying to keep the integrity of The Godfather in Harlem in place, and he's one of those elders that can do that.
Ashe.
And that's important. And being able to work that and having the integrity, that's where you can make things happen. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and that's where you can make things happen. So I'm glad from all of it from the beginning. And they try to push him out, but it
Really?
was Forrest Whitaker that fought for him,
Oh, I
and
love
that is a
that.
blessing. Big up to Forrest Whitaker.
Yes.
Because he's also into the traditions, the Ifa and the Khan and all that. He's into all of that stuff. So he's into that. So he really respect Baba James Smalls for the stuff that he's doing and how he's kept his integrity throughout the years. So Baba James Smalls will be coming on with us momentarily as he is walking through the lot to get to where he has to go to. But today's show is really about the healing energy we want to send for
Kenya.
Kenya. And you have your sound bowls. Maybe you want to send a healing
I
vibe.
do.
You want to go
I
get
do.
it in front of you. You have it in front of you.
Um, they're by me, but we
I,
could do it
I mean,
after, or do you want me to do it now?
I want you to start it off, because we're gonna get
Okay.
into a nice event. So I'm gonna put you behind the scene, and then I'll go step in front, and you go ahead and get it. Go ahead and get it. All right, go get it.
Okay.
All right. So
Go-
I don't want standing up and showing anything. Make sure she all right. So, family, just want to remind y'all, Professor James Smalls will be coming in. So make sure you like, subscribe, and share. Like, subscribe, and share. And of course, the elder is going to come in and share his energy and share his vibe about what's going on. And what's going on. I was also trying to get the ambassador Prince Michael, but he didn't answer my text, so I keep it moving, and I've had him on my show. He's connected to the elders on Kenya, on the mountains of Kenya. So we want to make sure everything is well. But tonight we're going to be doing what we have to do with our dear elder and legend, the one, the only Baba James Smalls will be in the building. It's like an emergency broadcast. You know what I'm saying? It's like emergency broadcast because, but it's still the healing vibes in any capacity. And of course, you could hear all kinds of jingling and stuff going on in the background with Carrie Ann. Shadow ting, and I ting, and I ting, I ting, I ting, ting. So make sure things, and she's going to do a nice little sound bowl. Quick sound bowl thing before Professor Smalls come in. He hasn't lined up in the background yet. As a matter of fact, let me go to StreamYard and send it to him via text also, just in case he's having email problems. I can do that also for my dear brethren. Are you ready, Carrie? Ann?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, are you ready? Okay, so we can come to you right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, man. All right, so Carrie Ann gonna take it over while I get in the background and make sure everything is all right. Go ahead, Carrie Ann, do what you do, and I'm gonna slip out in the darkness here. All right, all right.
Okay.
Peace and love.
Hello, everyone. I'm just going to do a little dimming of the light. Bear with me. That should be good. All right. So, what we're going to do is we're going to focus our energy in our heart chakra, in our heart center area, which is this area of the body. And we're going to visualize a healing light expanding and growing from our heart center and expanding out of our bodies into your room, engulfing your room with the healing, loving light, and then moving out of your room and into your neighborhood. And see this light moving and touching everyone in your neighborhood. And then visualize this light moving out into your entire city, and then moving out to the country, and then expanding into the world, the entire world. Seeing this light move through and go into Kenya, touching all the souls in Kenya, touching their heart center, expanding their heart, filling them with healing, filling them with love, filling them with community. And while we're doing this, I just ask that you breathe from your abdominal. So deep belly breathing. Three of that. One more. And when I start to play, make sure you're in a comfortable position. Make sure your spine is erect, that's straight. Make sure your feet are planted firmly on the ground. And you could have your both your hands on your lap, just gently sitting on your lap. and breathe naturally. No labor, some breath just naturally while you visualize this energy flowing out of your body. And gently come back into your bodies. Tune into your muscles, your limbs. Feel them. Feel your awareness of them. As you come back into your room, as you become aware of where you're sitting, and gently open your eyes when you're ready.
Everything good?
Yes.
Oh man, that was wonderful. Let's give that a well-deserved. Professor Smalls is in the background,
Awesome.
and we're going to bring our beloved professor in the background to. I know he's look like he's doing dual things. We got to figure out which one you're going to use, Professor. Let me know and so we can bring you up. I see you. I see you back there. So let's see. We want to get rid of.
Side, but I can't do it. So
Don't worry about it. We could go right to the front here. We could do it just like this. You know what I'm saying?
okay, that's
We
cool.
could do it just like.
Greetings, Professor.
Greetings, beautiful lady from Canada. How are you? I
I'm
was trying.
fantabulous.
I was trying to do it from my car. Does it sound too bad? Because I'm in this big
You
space.
sound
No.
good. You sound good. You sound good.
It's good. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I finally came back in, and there's an empty studio here. So I'm sitting in this big thing, but it's cool.
Yeah, you sound good.
Okay,
Yes. You sound.
that's good.
Yeah. Now, Baba Smalls, everybody know who you are, but those who don't know, why the healing prayers for Kenya and what is up? And I might have a special guest from one of the ambassadors from Kenya. He might come on, so he might come on a little in the next Prince Michael. He might come on in the next 15 minutes to come join us. So talk about what's going on in Kenya, my brother, please.
Yes, sir. Well, there's a lot going on in Kenya, and there's a president in Kenya who fits the description that Thierry, the president of Burkina Faso, refers to as Salon slaves. Salon slaves is referring to as slaves of the European. He operates as a collaborator for European imperialism and colonialism and neocolonialism, and not for the freedom fighter that Jomo Kenyatta and the Mau Maus and the others represented when they fought to free Kenya from Britain's colonialism and imperialism. And his first era, not his first, but his most notable one, is to send troops into Haiti to act as the goon squad for American, British, German, Israeli, French imperialism. That group I just named is called the Core Group. Let me name them again, the Core Group. And I'll tell you who the Core Group is. They're the French, they're the Canadians, they're the Brazilians, there's the Israelis, they're the Americans, and they're the Germans. This core group is the group who've caused all the trouble in Haiti over much of the last 100 years. Okay? And they're the ones that murdered the president of Haiti 3 years ago, led by the American assassins. I'm just telling the truth. If they can disprove it, bring me up on charges, because I'm telling the world what you did. Haiti is a wealthy nation. It has the second, if not the first, largest oil reserve in the Western Hemisphere, next to Venezuela. It has a large natural gas reserve. America will not allow Haiti to drill for her oil or her gas. Who the hell are they? Haiti has gold. Haiti has, what do you call it? Diamonds. Haiti has iridium. Iridium alone is enough to make it the wealthiest country in the Western Hemisphere. The only country on earth that has more iridium than Haiti is South Africa. Now, the iridium is what they use because it's heat resistant for rocket ships, missiles, and things like that. It's worth something like $50,000 a pound, okay, if not more. Haiti has a number of other precious metals. All of this is being mined by the core group. They're stealing this from Haiti. The waterways between Haiti and Cuba, Guantanamo Bay, is where most of the international shipping passes to go to the Pacific and the Panama Canal. Well, they have to pass through Haiti's international boundaries. They have to pass through Haitian water. So they have to pay Haiti, but they're not paying Haiti. America's taking that money that Haiti should be getting. Do you understand what I'm saying? See, people need to understand what's going on down in Haiti. So the UN allowed America and the core group to use them as a front in the genocide against the Haitian people for the last 20 years. And they brought cholera to Haiti. They left thousands and thousands of babies that came from their rapes and molestation of young Haitian girls. So it was, the UN was so shamed it pulled out. Now the UN has refused, though the UN voted to have the Kenyan troops come there, the UN has refused to put up the money to pay for them. But America put up $600 million to the Kenyan government. And the president of Kenya has gone against his own Supreme Court, who put a stop order and said he should not send the police, not constitutional in Kenya to send his police into another country. And the crisis that boiled over, that brought the young people in the streets 2 weeks ago, this same president of Kenya, this collaborator, this enemy of the people of Kenya, masquerading as the president, who's nothing more than a puppet of the United States and NATO. They actually call him an honorary NATO member, right?
Wow.
He borrows money from the IMF, was nothing more, the IMF, International Monetary Fund, is nothing more than financial gangster organizations, criminal enterprises, to entrap you into loan and debt slavery. And then he goes to tax the Haitian people to pay the money that he buys to pay the government that support his corruption. And that's when the people of Kenya said enough. And the young people took to the streets. And what happened, the police department, this is, oh, well, they burnt down the parliament and they burnt this building. Well, you fired on them before they burned one building. While they were marching peacefully, you opened fire on your own children. That police department is trained by America and NATO countries. And the president of Kenya, the so-called president, this collaborator, he has a police force that is not answerable to the courts, nor the parliament, nor him. They are answerable to America. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
So the Kenyan people and the Kenyan children have shown the African world that neocolonialism is over. Our brothers in the Sahel, in Mali, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, have cut the umbilical cord to the imperialists and the colonialists, have brought an end to neocolonialism in their country, and have formed a partnership of states economically, politically, and culturally that shows that this will never happen again. That the Africa and the wealth of Africa belongs to the African peoples. And African states will not be used the way the West tried to use the ECOWAS state to attack other African states who refused to remain in slavery. So this is what we're really talking about. We're talking about imperialism. We're talking about colonialism. We're talking about neocolonialism. And we're talking about slavery needing to be erased from the continent of Africa. And so Kenya, the young people of Kenya, is leading the way, along with Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, in showing us how to free ourselves of that international criminal tyranny that they're trying to masquerade as democracy.
So can you tell us when this really started, the roots of all of this?
The first time we met white people, but then so we can't condemn all white people, because there are some good ones. And I do admit that I have some friends who are white, European, and they're brothers to me. And I would die for them, and I know some who will die for me, and it's proven.
Likewise, yeah.
But we know that they don't represent the institutions of state, nor the institutions of banking.
Institutions. Repeat that for the people in the back, Professor.
The institutions of state and the financial banking and investment institutions of the Western world that financed the genocide of African people for the purpose of stealing our raw materials. But they disguise it as a democratic partnership, as long as the only one that is profiting from the partnership is the European state institution and apparatus. And so we can go back, if we want to really see the true genesis of the modern imperialism, to 1884, with the onset of the Berlin Conference. And this is when all of Europe comes together. The call is put out by Berlin. It is financed by America. America always say, oh, we didn't have a colony in Africa. Yes, you did. You financed all of the other colonies that were in Africa. And you were at the Berlin Conference fully represented as investors who paid the mercenaries of Europe to murder hundreds of millions of African peoples over this period of time. So at that Berlin Conference, they cut Africa up into multiple parts so that every European nation could come militarily and occupy an aspect of Africa for the purpose of stealing the raw material of Africa for the growth of Europe. And if you look at the growth of Europe from 1885 to present, you see it all came from the robbery of Africa. And every European army financed by America invaded Africa. That should have been called the First World War. Every army of Europe, hear me well, invaded Africa. They invaded South Africa, East Africa, North Africa, Central Africa with their armies. The Germans coming into Tanzania and into Togo, the French coming into Mali, Senegal, Chad, Burkina Faso, the British coming into Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, the Dutch coming into South Africa, and so forth, with armies.
So
and our people fought gallantly. Yes, sir.
Now, according to reports, and you know how they come out with these reports, especially from different places. They're talking about they're doing this because of tax hikes and that type of stuff. That is much more deeper than that. We know, because it's going back
much more deeper.
Yeah, going back to even Jomo Kenyatta and all of that. They hate a lot of the revolutionaries that came out of there. Even the elders of the mountains, they don't want to deal with also. So tell the audience, the importance of that history and that legacy, and why it's important to support the young men and women of Kenya, please.
Yes, absolutely. When we realize these invasions that come into Africa, this is why, I always say history erases the mystery. History erases the mystery. After the Berlin Conference and after the onset of the invasion, the Italians go to Ethiopia. But Menelik and his armed forces managed to defeat the Italians in their invasion of Ethiopia. The British invades, along with the French initially, and then the British invades Egypt, what became Algeria, what became Libya. And they tried to invade Sudan, but they're met in Sudan by a gallant warrior, a man named Muhammad Ahmed. They call him the Mahdi of Sudan. And he defeated the British. The British sent the best general and the most popular general in the United Kingdom, a general named Gordon, and figured he would go down there with 30,000 Turkish and white Egyptian troops and British troops and defeat the armies of the Sudan. Well, they went back up to Cairo with Gordon's head on a platter and 3,000 of his 30,000 troops still alive, because the Sudan slaughtered them in the Battle of Khartoum. And Muhammad Ahmed did it. Now, they would send in collaborators like the one we got in Kenya now as its president, and they would poison Muhammad Ahmed. But he would be followed by a brother named Abdullah. And Abdullah would take on the force of Kitchener, because now Britain was sent to China and bring the general they sent to slaughter the Chinese to come and slaughter the Africans. His name is Kitchener.
Oh.
And he advanced on the Sudan after raising an Arab, Turkish, and British army.
Wow.
And the French came on the Sudan from the west, out of what is now Senegal.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, Menelik, being tied up in the fight with the Italian, couldn't cover the eastern flank for Abdallah. And Abdallah's forces were defeated, and Abdallah was assassinated. And they put his picture on postcards and sent it all over Europe after
Wow,
cutting
his
off his head.
assassinated body.
They beheaded him, took photograph of it, and sent them in postcards all around Europe, celebrating the murder of Brother Abdallah. But we go to the south, and we go to South Africa, and we meet a general of the Zulu nation, the General Bambata. Bambata take on the British, killing thousands of them before they introduced the Gatling gun, a machine gun that could kill thousands of us in minutes and cause the surrender of the Zulu nation. But before that, Sechuweya, another Zulu general and king, took on the British forces in a place called Islamabad and killed a couple of thousands. More British soldiers was killed in that battle than had ever been killed in a battle in the history in a single day. And it caused the government of Robespierre in Britain to collapse because the British people said, how dare you let those Africans kill our sons like that? So we fought back.
Right.
And if you go to the Ndebele people, and you go to the Shona people, and you go to the Congolese people, and we are fighting fierce war against the Portuguese in Angola, against the Belgians and the Portuguese in Congo, against the Portuguese in Mozambique. And they're bringing gun technology that we had never heard of into these battles. But we fight them for decades, causing them tens of thousands of deaths. But it was their gun technology that defeated us.
And this is not, this is all this, the revolution happening in Kenya and everything that's going on is just in the bloodline right now.
This is even before the revolution in Kenya.
Yes, yes,
okay.
Yes.
This is before the rising of the Mau Mau. This is before Dedan Kimanthi and Jomo Kenyatta. They will come later as resistant movements. This is the initial attack on Africa being repelled by our ancestors. And we need to know the history and know these great leaders.
Yes.
We need to know who Bonsu is. And one of the Asante Hennies of the Asante Nation who come and crush the Dutch and the Portuguese on the shores of Ghana and take the Elmina slave dungeon from them and drove them into the sea. Who knows Bonsu, our great hero? You know? So we need to understand our history to erase the white man imperialist mystery, which has our mind thinking we can't defeat him.
That's right. That's right.
That we must accept and capitulate to imperialism and colonialism. And so we began to see this fierce resistance in the rise of Dedan Kimanthi and the Mau Mau. See, we talk about Jomo. Jomo is the intellectual, legal scholar that comes and give voice and leadership to the Mau Mau. But the Mau Mau movements preceded the presence of Jomo Kenyatta. Not to take anything away, because he comes and articulate what needs to be done and move the leadership forward. But the great warrior, Dedan Kimanthi, Karoli Wakaranja, we must remember them, and we must hold their spirits high. They're our ancestors. They are our deities that will give us the strength to meet the enemies we have to meet, the enemies who have killed our mothers and our fathers, the enemies who have raped our daughters and our sisters, the enemies who have castrated our brothers and our uncles. These are the people now calling themselves our democratic partners. We don't need such partners. We need to be free. Freedom, according to Dr. Asa Hilliard, is to be shackled to your identity. In order to be shackled to your identity, you must control the economics, the politics, and the culture where you live. In order to control the economic, the politics, and the culture where you live, you must be in control of the land where you live, the labor where you live, and the resources where you live. And that's what the young people in Kenya is fighting for. We will no longer allow Moody's to set the value of our money. We will no longer allow the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, two criminal economic organizations, to trap us into debts that's going to take hundreds of years to get out of. What Africa should do as a continent is abrogate every treaty and every bill, because all of them was done under neo-colonial duress. None of them is legal in the international legal protocols in the world. According to international protocols, not a single one of the treaties that have been signed under imperialism and neo-colonial duress should be legal, and we can break them without any legal consequences. And if someone wants to dare call on legal consequences, let them come and fight us in our land. If we're not willing to die for freedom, we don't deserve freedom. It's freedom or death.
Professor Small, hold on one second. We have a special guest coming on with us, my dear brother Prince, Ambassador Prince Michael, ancient philosopher and Njiro clan leader from out of Kenya. What's up, my brother? How you been, brother?
Peace.
Peace,
brother
Prince.
I don't know if you ever met him, Professor Small.
The honorable Professor James Small, man. It's an honor.
But it's my honor, brother. It's my honor, and I am so wishing there was more we could do for the youth in Kenya. So I just want to loan my voice to the world, to let the world know that there are many of us in America. Out of the 70 or so million of us, most of us support the youth in Kenya. We're not in confusion. And we need to know more ways to help the youth in Kenya take their country back and create the Africa that they want to see, to create the Africa that they want to raise their children in, to create an African free from neocolonialism, to create an African free from European imperialism. Let's speak only our language. We don't need their language as our primary language. There shouldn't be a single European language. We need to learn them for communication, but none of them should be the lingua franca in our countries. Let's speak our indigenous language as the first language. That's one of the first things we need to do to get our minds back, because our ancestors is in our mind. We can't wake them up because we speak in the wrong damn language to them. We need to speak the indigenes. They will hear us then, and they will wake up in us and instruct us on how to defeat the enemy. The history that I was trying to talk about, the little bits and pieces of our history, we have an enormous, extraordinary history. But if you don't know it, it's not extraordinary. Only if you know your history is it extraordinary, because it will instruct and inform you on who your friends are and who your enemies are.
And I'm so happy that you came with this energy, brother. Professor Smalls, as usual, you don't stop. You've been traveling back and forth, and now I got one of the young people from out of Kenya, and I know I'm going to give it over to you, Carrie Ann, after. But brother Ambassador Prince Michael, what's going on, brother? Because I know you're connected to the elders of that land of Kenya. What's going on in Kenya with that uprising happen now, from your perspective and from your connection to your elders? What's going on over there?
So it's that Michael energy, it's that Michael frequency. They stormed the parliament on the anniversary of Michael Jackson, the 15th year of Michael Jackson ascending, becoming an ancestor, transition. Right. June 25th. And I'm here in Kenya, right.
Oh, you're in Kenya. You're in Kenya now.
Oh, I'm in Nairobi right now. Yeah.
I didn't know. I thought you was in America. Right.
No. I'm in Kenya.
Right.
Matter of fact, like, I mean, I seen, you know, I was there, like, on that day, I went and did a ritual at the river. You know, there's the, I don't know if you've never been to Nairobi, but the waters are very polluted here. The rivers are very polluted. So I ended up doing a prosperity ritual. I went to a polluted river, and I brought sugar and and bread and things like that. You know, did prayers and things like that. But it's very spiritual what's happening here. Actually, the people have declared that they no longer recognize the sovereignty of the parliament, because the Constitution of Kenya is very empowering for the people. It's very different than the U.S. in my perspective, because the first chapter of the Kenya Constitution literally is titled "The Sovereignty of the People," right? And in that, it says that 1.2, it says that the people can exercise their sovereign power either directly or through representatives, right? And of course, all the members of parliaments are all elected representatives of the people. But when they went into the parliament building, all of the parliament members vacated their seats and they escaped through underground tunnels to get out, right? A member of the High Court, an advocate from the High Court, came on TV, national news, and interpreted those actions to say that this was an example of the people exercising their powers directly. And the interpretation is that the people of Kenya no longer recognize the sovereignty of parliament, right? It was very powerful, and that made me look into the Constitution, and that's when I learned what I just said, about people have the choice here to either do it directly or through representatives. So what's happening is the people are now demanding that the government gets dissolved. They want the president. In fact, I'm getting ready to go and join the brothers here in a few hours. We're dressing in all white. And we're going to the State House in a few hours. And there's a brother turned activist, and he's leading that one right there. He's calling for the president to dissolve the government. And the day that the most shootings occurred of the protesters, it was funny because when I woke up early in the morning, or the rising, I saw I was just following the headlines and stuff, and I was seeing where there were 19 protesters were killed. This was very fresh. This was fresh early in the day. This side of the world, y'all time is still middle of the night. 1, 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock. It was early over there, and it says 19 protesters killed, right? And then hours later, when the headlines hit the international headlines, it said 5 protesters were killed. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. How does it start with the local stations here are saying 19, like out the gate? That was the first number that we saw here was 19, right?
Right.
And then hours later, normally the death toll rises as time goes by, but hours later, when the international press now catches on, they're saying, oh, it's 5. Then it rises to 8. Then it sat at 13 for about a week or so. And now I think they're saying it's somewhere around, I don't know, 30 or 20. The president the other day said, oh, it's just 19, right? Now he says it's 19. Then they're saying, oh, it's 24, but then they're saying it's 36 or 39. Like we want, how many people were actually killed by the police that was using live rounds from their guns, first of all, right? Because we saw the number at 1, and then I'm getting pictures, like some more people that send me pictures from doctors in the hospitals that are actually treating these gunshot wounds and pictures from the doctors now. So so the people, that's when that whole incident happened, after they started shooting those protesters. The people, that was a whole reaction. So it's that spirit of taking the head off the beast. That's why I say that Michael energy, that Michael spirit really showed its face on the 25th of June. You know, like I said, which happened to be the day Michael Jackson transitioned. And it was a powerful day. And it's just the tip of the iceberg from the spirit of the people. They're relentless here. They're not giving up. They tasted a little bit of blood, you know, if you will. They when the president withdrew and said, look, these people are very strategic. This was a very strategic uprising I seen. It wasn't a bunch of random businesses being targeted. They specifically hit the businesses and places of the government people. They hit Parliament, set that ablaze, broke all the windows, all of that, ransacked the place. They hit the city hall. They hit the governor's office, set that ablaze. They found the president's Air Force One jet, the president's plane, set that on fire. Members of Parliament's houses, set those on fire. The businesses owned by some of the members of Parliament, ransacked those businesses. They were strategic in a lot of their target. It wasn't just a bunch. There was some people I'm hearing, some, you know, collateral damage, if you will, but many of the focal points of the protesters were properties owned by members of Parliament that voted yes to that bill, and you saw they got the results. So, but now there's another thing we're working now. You're probably going to hear about it soon, where, you know, the whole Parliament just gets fired. You know, like everyone is, they just want to start over from scratch. That's what it's looking like. It's heading towards. Yeah.
Well, now, hold on one second. Hold on 1 second, Prince. I want to make sure Carrie Ann get a nice question. Go ahead, Carrie Ann, please.
No, it's very clear to me now. It makes sense what Professor was saying about this. Is we need to learn from how they are actually protesting, and you're breaking down the strategy that's used in a very calculated way to get attention and to get what you want without the other ickiness that comes along with it. So being that you're on the ground right now in the mix of it, what is the sentiment of the young people that are spearheading this? You know, what is their heart? What is, you know, your firsthand experience with them? What are they saying?
Good question.
Really, it's not just the finance bill. It's an accumulation. You know, it's the disrespect, like, you know, someone to come into office as if I'm one of you, right? I feel you. I'm your brother. You know, I come from the same struggle. We're cut from the same cloth. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, yeah, one of us, you know, we're in the office. And then to turn around and put all the pressure, you know, on the people that you said you was a part of, you know, it's like a feeling of betrayal, right? So that can invoke a real emotional response, or deeply emotional response, or maybe, I don't know, but that's what some of the people I've spoken to, it's like the betrayal energy. Like, how could you? Like, I got to show you. You really took it there. What? Us?
Right.
So, all right, we gonna show you something. So that's kind of like, that's kind of like the energy
invoking the ancestors on top of anything, that energy of the ancestors to get you, basically.
Well, that's why I mentioned a brother named Eric Imondi, because he's actually bringing that message forward. And I want to show you just real quick my phone here. I'm show you guys.
I'll throw you up in the front if you're going to show it. Go ahead. Let me see.
Let me see, Eric. Okay, 1 second.
Okay. You went black.
So you see, this is him, and he's calling for.
I've been told that you are a very prayerful man. This is the word of the Lord for you. Please fire all cabinet secretaries before Thursday. Please fire all permanent secretaries before Thursday. Please fire all, Mr. President. We are coming to State House on Thursday at 11 a.m. I will be accompanied by 100 women dressed in white, just Mama Bogas. I'll be accompanied by 100 men dressed in white, just for the borders. I'll be accompanied by 100 young people dressed in white, just youths. Mr. President, please request and ask the police to put down their guns.
Yes.
Mr. President, we need to talk, not on Twitter, not on TV.
That's right.
Mr. President, see you on Thursday at 11 a.m.
Wow.
Mr. President,
Wow, brother.
Thursday.
Wow, brother.
And
Wow.
It's almost 11 a.m. another 6 hours or so, 7 hours or so.
Right.
So you see, it's a real spiritual thing that's that what's getting ready to take place today. And this is going to be the first protest that I joined in my whole life. Right. I've taken a completely different approach. Right. But because when I saw this brother, because of what I'm doing, so I'm doing something to contribute to what's happening over here. I'm not going to say exactly what it is because
of course
it's going to be very powerful. Right.
Yeah.
But it's basically directly in line with what this brother, I happened to just learn about who he was literally yesterday when he did an interview saying that what needs to happen in Kenya, and it's actually exactly what we were doing with what I'm working with my young people over here on actually doing. Like we actually have it, and here we are, a big celebrity in the country, you know, on interview saying this is exactly what needs to happen. I say, hey, well, we got the technology to do that right now, right?
That's right.
What we a white robe, as you know, the elders gave me, so I'm going to put on my white robe. And he said, hey, dressed in white. I said, it sounds like my type of party. So this sounds like the first, you know,
that's right,
entry point for me in the whole protest energy. And let me go and stand with the brothers.
Proud of you, Ambassador. Proud of you, Prince. Proud of you. Proud of you. Proud of you, man. I gotta give you a round of applause. And Professor Smalls, you're still here with us, man. Let me ask Prince one more question. What is it can we do with our energy from here, Prince, in Americas, throughout the other diaspora of original melanated people? What kind of energy do we have to throw out there to the people? Because I had Carrie Ann do a prayer to start off the energy with sound bowls and all that. What is it that we can do and what to help out, brother? From a spiritual
and just the esoteric moment, people can meditate and pray for victory. But praying is useless except when you take the instructions given to you by you in your prayer. You see, because there's no God that's going to come down and do anything. Everything that God does, we do it on behalf of the thing we call God. So we are the only God when it comes to taking action to change anything in the world. And so when we think of spiritual things, understand that you are the matter that is propelling the energy. You see? Or you are the matter that is being propelled by the energy. But the change is only going to come if we allow the energy to propel us, the matter, to take things in our hands. Otherwise, your praying sounds good, feels good, does no good. We have to take physical action. The matter must be impregnated by the spiritual energy. Because the only change that happens in the world on behalf of God is done by the things that are in the world. And that's significant to understand, because sometimes we think saying a prayer verbally and creating the vibration is enough. No, you must become possessed by the vibration and carry out the instructions of the prayer. That's when change happens. But I wanted to put something else in the equation on why freedom or death. You know, the whole world's trying to reach me because they don't know where I'm at. That's the family. Kenya, like many of our countries, have got the imperialists, managers living in safe housing compound and all of the modernity in the world right in our midst while we are living in squalor. We need to identify those places where the managers of imperialism in our countries, the bankers and the financiers and the running the country for the imperialists from Europe and Asia is living there. We can't even get housing in those compounds. We must also take a look at all of the land that they've declared national parks and animal sanctuaries, yet they have all their mansions and all of their hideaways in those lands. In our land, they could come to Kenya, never see a black person in Kenya except those who serve in their tables, all right, while they're out in the environment of Kenya enjoying the good life, as though we're not even there. That has to stop. Imperialism, colonialism, and neocolonialism must end. And so we must teach the people why the president and those in parliament feels compelled to do what they're doing, because they think they can get away with it because they have the support of these imperialist managers right there on the ground in Kenya and in Ghana and in Tanzania and in Uganda and in Congo. You know, everybody, we have to be careful not to let the European get the narrative.
Right.
In Congo now, they're blaming all the wars of Congo on Paul Kagame. That's bullshit. The wars in the Congo, the so-called whatever 23, those are Tutsi people whose bloodline and families have lived in Congo for the last 10,000 years. They're not from Rwanda. They're ethnically Tutsis. But they've allowed the French and the Belgians and the white man to tell one Congolese ethnic group, this Congolese ethnic group who happen to be Tutsi is not you. And when they pick up arms and get support, then you start crying. Let's understand history to erase the mystery, so we know who the criminals are. No longer do we call Belgium the criminals in the Congo. No longer do we call America the criminals in the Congo. No longer do we call Canada the criminals in the Congo, or the French. We now just say, no, it's Paul Kagame and Museveni. We got to be careful on who's declaring the narrative. They're doing the same thing in Kenya. Why did the president of Kenya feel so bold to send the Kenyan soldiers, policemen into Haiti against the courts of Kenya? The court says, no, this is against our constitution. A young lawyer in Kenya stood up and brought that case before the court months ago, almost a year ago. And he defies them because he thinks he's covered by the collaborators, managers that's living in safe housing quarters that you can't even get to right there in Nairobi, telling him it's all right to do what we said do, telling him without the people's permission, without Parliament's permission, you can build an American military base in northern Kenya to rival any military base in Africa because they've been kicked out of the Sahel. Let's say what it is. Freedom or death. Who wants to live? Dead. I'd rather than be physically dead, or I will be free. Freedom, the beauty of freedom is to speak your truth and to be willing to give your life for the children of Africa's tomorrow. That's freedom. Nothing else exists. Freedom or death. Dessalines told us that. Dessalines proved that in Haiti. Dessalines, this very spirit, the vibration that it was Dessalines, is now active in the streets of Kenya. Make the connection. Kenyan troops go to Haiti. All hell breaks loose in Kenya. Make the connection. Make the spiritual connection there. The vibration of the heroes of the Haitian Revolution have set foot in the very streets of Kenya itself. Dedan Kimanthi, Kenyatta, and all of those brave soldiers of the Mau Mau have woken up out of their graves. The energy, the spirit, the vibration that made them give their lives for us have come now to possess the youngsters of that nation. Thank God Thank the God of our ancestors.
Mm. Yes, sir. Ashe, Ashe. Before I turn Carrie Ann, I want to say one more thing. It's interesting how you made the collaboration between Michael Jackson and what happened and what happened on the 21st, because we know the last real tour he was on was They Don't Really Care About Us.
Absolutely.
That was tour. And then somebody's in the chat talking about it. He finds it strange. No, it's not strange that it would happen on that vibration, because that vibration of transition was very important, especially to us of the spiritual community. And that was the last tour he was on.
Right. And if you listen to most of Michael, I only met that young man once.
Right.
When Teddy Riley was writing that last album, because one of my kids was a managing Blackstreet and Teddy Riley at the time. Almost everything Michael wrote had a spiritual or a political connotation. Listen to his music. Almost everything that boy did. We got confused because of his lighting of his skin and the surgeries he had and the kinds of social things that the manipulators were selling him into and selling us on, that we weren't listening to the message.
Exactly.
Man in the mirror. Who you think he's talking about? That's an African spiritual phenomena.
Man, that brought me to tears. That saved my life a few
times. Praise. Michael, listen to the music that young man was writing. Listen to those lyrics. And when he came back and said, they don't care about us, they knew he came back pissed off. They knew he was angry. They knew he was the most popular voice in the world, and he was about to shake this shit down, and they assassinated him. Not just murder. That's an assassination.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. And the whole frequency of the function that Michael serves, from a esoteric
metaphysics,
hidden
all of that
perspective. It comes. Michael is the energy that comes to create the foundation for the new world by slaughtering the head, cutting the head of the dragon, defeating the beast. And that's what we saw the people do. They took it upon themselves to go at the head. These people literally
they went at the jugular vein, brother, and they didn't hesitate. And I saw that, I go, I wish my knees weren't bad anymore, and I could get on a plane and come to Kenya, get in them streets, and said, I'll walk in front. I'll take the hit first.
So just to right. So just to clarify for the person in the chat,
go ahead.
That was connecting the Michael frequency to Michael Jackson, because that Parliament event took place on the day that Michael Jackson passed away, the 15th anniversary of that, and so that's what I was just drawing that to, just showing, for those people are interested in those type of spiritual connections, that is one that you can look at right there, the Michael function in the universal space and everything.
Let me come in on spirituality one little bit, my brother, and then I'll shut my mouth. Our people have to understand, either you're going to be African or you're not. And you cannot be African without being spiritual. And you cannot be spiritual without understanding that cosmology and ecology marries one another. And we are the cords that bind the two together. Either we're God having a human experience or we the devil. I don't want to be the devil. I'm God having this human experience. Well, whatever language, Oludumare, Allah, whatever you want to call it. And so Africa is saying, if you don't return to my spiritual understanding of how to view the world, I will not give you victory and freedom. You will not, according to our ancestors' teaching, as I know it, be allowed to be free until you become your ancestors again. Only then will you know the thing that you're calling freedom. That's the simplest way I could put it.
It is.
And I want
Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
Yeah, and to answer your question, King Simon, in terms of what the diaspora can do, what can we do in the diaspora? What we can do is to know that what we really need to know that what's taking place in Kenya is not just for Kenya. It's not even just for Africa. this has global implications when you see what's taking place and what's going to take place here. I know exactly what's going to take place because I know the ultimate power move that's getting ready to take place in the next few days. And I tell you, it's going to reverberate throughout the entire African diaspora. And in fact, it's a system, you know, my contribution, so I can only speak from my experience, right? My contribution to the revolution on this side is coming from a system that we created for the African diaspora. It just so happens that we find ourselves in similar situations. The same struggles that we're fighting in the diaspora, the same struggles that our people find themselves facing here on the continent. And so the same solutions that we have for ourselves in the diaspora, they can also apply. And it just so happens that this is the perfect place to apply it because their constitution allows for the people to exercise their sovereign power directly, right? And that is an example that we in the diaspora also need to take into account and learn from. Right? Whether the Constitution in the U.S. says we can do it or not, it's something that we have to do. And if you want to know what it looks like, keep an eye on Kenya over the next few weeks. And that's what I'll say. Keep an eye on Kenya, right? And visualize the creation of the foundation, the laying of the foundation for the new era, the new age, the new society, the new paradigm. You know, that shift is going to reverberate from the holy mountain, just even ironically as it was written in the scriptures, right? So from this place right here, you know, this is a political thing taking place, but there's deep spiritual implications and factors that's guiding this and propelling this from the unseen behind it, you know. So that's why I would say just prepare and visualize the foundation being laid through you know, that the things that we're witnessing, you know what I'm saying, here, and that is coming there next is going to reverberate globally.
So what is your advice for us over here in North?
Sister, I must say something, and it's not a negative, but it's a clarity. This is not the first time such an uprising has taken place among African people via issues. And the mistake we've made each time is not to realize that the demon rat is going to come back. He's not going to sit back and let us crush him. And we need to be prepared this time for the demon rat's retaliation. And I know that on the 25th of September, the youth of Ghana have their rally move. The youth in Nigeria, I think, is on the same day. In Tanzania and Uganda, it's coming earlier than that. But we must be prepared. The demon rat have no place to run. We must be prepared to crush them because they will come. And then we'll have our victory for our eternity. That's all I want. Sorry, my sister, I had to cut you off. But I want that to be plain in our hearts, that the demon rats will come for us.
You touched on what I was going to ask, because my question was, and still is, like, what are the guidance? How can we prepare? How can we, you know, set up a solid foundation to mitigate this, because it is coming, as we know, on our end? What is the advice that you both have to offer for people who are like, okay, I need, you know, step by step, what should I do? How can I prepare for this?
Any one of y'all could answer, but any one of y'all could answer. But I said the Duke of Tears wants to send his love to all of us, especially Prince Michael, and of course Professor Smalls and Sister Carrie. So I said, just text me. He's watching. He wanted to because he'll be on with us this weekend. Be on with me this Sunday. So go ahead, Prince Michael. You start off with answer that question, please.
Creating the nation, we have to use the sovereignty of the people. Our sovereign power, the same exact thing, is the same solution. And we're going to have to create a political and economic foundation that we can build, you know, our separate and equal structure, you know, political, spiritual, economic. It's the same way. And I'll just let the cat out the bag. We can use the same system that we're going to deploy here. Right. And that's really the last thing, fundamental, you know, to begin the new, to initiate. You know, we have the international recognition. Finally, what Malcolm X was was telling people we needed to do, it's actually done now. We have the recognition in the international community. We have a definition in international law now. So we are recognized as a distinct human class of people or community of human beings now, called the African diaspora. Obviously, they still haven't put it out on any mass media networks to really educate that, but social media has done a good job, because now people actually know what the African diaspora was. I remember when I was telling people about it 10 years ago, no one was like, what's the African diaspora? But at least the people are familiar with the term now, right? But the next thing we have to do, we have to actually do something with that, understand the power behind that, create an actual nation, and so that way we can begin acquiring and building our territories that under a designation that's recognized by basically all the countries in the world right now, except for us, the actual African diaspora. We're the only ones that have it, So that's what I would say. That's what we have to do. But obviously we have to have a mechanism in place to create that national registry. And that's what we plan to intend to roll out in the next couple months. We're going to start here because, it's happening right now, live and direct. We have the system. It's going to roll out in the next few days. And then, just take a look and see, just keep an eye on what happens when these young people get a hold of that, and how they're going to put these leaders in check over here, and understand we can do this. We essentially have to kind of do the same thing, similar but different, because they're just fixing a part of their system. We have to create a whole system in the diaspora, which is still can be used, the same system. But that's what I would say. We have to nationalize, organize, centralize, and execute and implement everything that we know to do already. We have all the skills. We really have all the money. We have everything we need. It's not like we're missing anything.
We are missing something. We're missing African ancestral consciousness. African ancestral consciousness. If we think we're going to be free as white people, forget it. Ain't gonna happen. Even if all the white people die right now, not a single thing will change.
And they have it in their head.
Not a single thing will change. We have to return to an ancestral consciousness. When we talk about spirituality, it is beyond even scriptures. Those are modern documents of interpretation of a most ancient way of being. They are helpful and useful, but there's something deeper. And there is an identification, organizational motif that exists for most of the African diaspora in the Western Hemisphere. And they call the Afro-descendant nation. And they have sat down and agreed to that term. And it involved nearly 1 billion people. Now we need to have more collaborations, especially with the youth of the Afro-descendant nation, from Brazil to Peru to Jamaica to South Carolina to California. But people have been fighting to bring about exactly what you're saying with the definition. I particularly don't like Afro-descendant nation, but I support and go along with it until we come up with a better defining, something that will better define who we are. We're nearly 3 billion people worldwide. How do we define this nearly 3 billion people who are living on the richest pieces of real estate in the world, in the Caribbean and Africa, and have more wealth than all of the rest of the world put together? It is a consciousness that can only be defined. I'm defining it as ancestral, but you young people may have a better way to see it. But what I'm trying to say is that I am my ancestors. I just need to get my mind back. You know what I'm saying? So what is that mind? Y'all have to help us understand that, because you got the technology, you got skills my generation don't have. You have knowledge my generation don't have. And you have to help the generations above you understand what returning to being African is really about, economically, politically, culturally, spiritually,
Yeah.
And like you said, Kenya is now, I didn't know that about the Constitution. Thank God there was those who had the wisdom to put that in that Constitution. So Kenya is now leading the way. But there was a speech given last week by the young president of Burkina Faso, who said almost the same thing, my brother, that you were saying. And so we need to look at those three, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso, and the motif and model their setting with their activities in the Sahel.
Powerful, powerful. Anything you wanted to add on, Carrie Ann, before we let these gentlemen go and do what they have to do, our brothers?
Honestly, I'm learning a lot. You know, I thought I knew, but I'm learning a lot, and it's what I've come to realize is that I was mentioning to you earlier. It seems like all of the crown lands, there is this spiritual upheavaling and the spiritual warfare that is making sure that we're taking back our stuff and we're rectifying the things, the injustice that were done to the stewards of the earth. We're seeing that in real time, and with these devices, we're globally getting to witness this and interject our own energy into helping the process and coming together. You know, it's what it's teaching me is we all need to come together and build a new harmonious world together. And if we can't do it peacefully, hell, take out whatever way we need to do. we need to usher in this new way for the generation to come, because we will be the ancestors and this will be our legacy.
Wonderful, wonderful. Isn't it wonderful and refreshing when you hear women speak like this? It's a beautiful thing. I love
women are the mothers of the universe itself.
Exactly.
And there is no universe without the woman, but there's no universe without the man.
Without the man.
Neither is bigger or smaller than the other. They're
That
the
part.
essential elements to make a whole thing.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And so we need to make sure that we do not do as the European does. He creates a world that makes his women prostitutes.
Yes.
In the African world, we make our women our partners.
Yes.
And you look throughout our history, back to ancient Egypt, back to ancient Nubia, back to ancient Ethiopia, right up to today, having a king who's female of the entire Congo. There's 5 women king in Nigeria alone that we know about, and other places. We have always been in full partnership with our female and male elements. Only when we tried to imitate the demon rats have we gone wrong.
Demon rats.
So,
oh man, but Prince Ambassador, I want to thank you very much. I know you're in Kenya right now.
I'm honored, Ambassador, and tell all the youth we are praying with you. We're meditating with you. We'll be speaking out on your behalf everywhere that we can, as long as we have voice. We love you. Look at me. You belong to me, and I belong to you.
Wow.
And I'm willing to die for that statement.
What were you showing, Prince? What are you showing, Prince? What are you showing? I
want to show y'all this Constitution, the first, so y'all can see. Can y'all read that?
Wow. No,
I don't have my glasses.
It's kind of blurry, Prince. It's kind of blurry.
But I'll look it up as soon as we get off. Yeah, I'll be able to pull it up. I'll find it as soon as we get off.
Yeah.
Can you send a link to me so I can send it to him? Can you send me a link to it so I can send it to him?
Absolutely.
Send it to me.
Absolutely. I just wanted to read it real quick. Just
okay,
real,
go ahead,
2 sentences.
Okay,
it says, Chapter 1, sovereignty of the people and supremacy of this Constitution. Sovereignty of the people says 1. All sovereign power belongs to the people of Kenya and shall be exercised only in accordance with this Constitution. Section 2. The people may exercise their sovereign power either directly or through their democratically elected representatives. You see? So
I got a sovereignty. I'm gonna have to leave y'all and go call that sovereignty. I've been married to her for 53 years and she don't know where her husband is. So I'm gonna have to say peace and blessings. It's an honor always to be with all of you. We will die for freedom, and we will live for freedom. So freedom or death. Freedom or
Yes.
death.
Oh, man. Thank you, Freedom
Ashe.
or Death. And thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Prince. Thank you very much for coming on such a short notice. Make sure y'all go to his
Absolutely.
Linktree / Ambassador Prince Michael. They have also taken up donations for their work and what they're doing, especially with the elders and all that. So go and support my brother. Hit him up at Ambassador Prince Michael, also on IG. Any last word, my brother?
Man, no, it's all good. I appreciate you having me on. And you too, sister. It was a blessing. And you know, let's just today's gonna be a powerful day. Over here in Kenya, there's another, they're going to the state house.
Yes.
So that, you know, protection and fulfillment of prophecy, because this is prophetic. If you ask me, this is deeply prophetic. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna break all of that down right now, but
well, I hope you post a lot of that stuff on your IG so we can see it, man, and really feel the energy. So post it or send me some clips, whatever you need to do, brother. I need to share that energy with you, man. All right?
Ashe.
Love you, man. Love and respect. Thank you, brother.
Thank you, family.
All right. Thank you, brother.
That
was beautiful. That was beautiful, man. Wow, that was beautiful. Let's give that a round of applause, man. Woo! Great show, family. Great show. And Professor JamesSmall, support him via his Cash App, his PayPal, his website, ProfessorJamesSmalls.com. And again, Prince, Ambassador Prince out of there, Kenya, of the Ngiro clan of the elders up in the Kenyan mountains over there. He's the reparation leader too. So they're really about the spiritual work. They do spiritual retreats around the mountain, doing prayers around the mountain of Kenya. They're not joking over there when they do. Even when that thing happened with the Black Panther, he was breaking down stuff about the Black Panther, man, about the whole movie and the whole thing. And, you know, but hit him up at IG at, of course, Ambassador Prince Michael. And, of course, his Linktree, Ambassador Prince Michael. Support. And remember, we're broadcasting also on Carrie Ann Ingram's YouTube channel. Make sure y'all show her love. I've been seeing some people showing up from her YouTube channel on the live chat. So big up to her. And that's her website scrolling on the bottom, carrieanningram.com, because she's doing a lot of great work, a lot of great spiritual work now. Make sure y'all acknowledge what my sister's doing in these realms here, especially with the tarot spread, and also especially with the jewelry that she makes and the energy work. We're going up to that. Yeah, I got that right there. The energy work, you know. Sound healing. She's doing all. She started off this thing with a sound healing, and again, we want to thank Professor Smalls on his busy schedule. Of course, he's right now on the set of The Godfather of Harlem, consulting and making sure we keep the integrity of that whole set and everything that's going on over there. So enough respect. Bring up to the pillars that red pill and blue pill that's hitting me up saying good show, man. Yeah, thank y'all very much for tuning in and locking in, man. Thank y'all very much. But and you know what's so funny? Before we close out, even what they did on the stage with Kendrick Lamar, that unity thing was very powerful and very potent. And I told people Kendrick is triggering the energy of Tupac, but he's born the same day as Steve Coakley, who was a decoder. And they both they decode and bring things to the forefront. Right. And that's what I love what he's doing, you know, and especially we just want to make sure that he keeps his integrity, and he looks like he's trying to keep that integrity. He's showing his wife and children in the new video doing their thing. I mean, he's trying to keep that vibe. So it's all about us uniting, and especially the male and female working together in this, because this is going to be it. It's going to be the devastating one if we're not careful and we're not on code, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? We're not on code. But thank you very much, Carrie. You brought the fire with your questions. You know how you do.
Thank you.
Give that a round of applause. I miss you. We haven't been on for a while since I've been in New York and all that. We haven't been on a while, so. And we're doing what we got to do. And we got a special guest coming up next week. I believe we have our beautiful sister. She's still confirmed, right? Nairobi
Vision. Yes.
Yes, she's still confirmed. So big up to her. Give her a round of applause.
Yes. Woohoo!
And you know, this Sunday at 11 a.m. I got Dr. B Serious and one, the only I said the Duke of Tell. You let me know if you want to pop in on any one of them. You know how we do. You let me know. Just let me know.
Yes.
11:11 is this one on Sunday with Dr. B. But I say it's 9 o'clock. I don't know. You like your bedtime. You like to get your rest. So I don't want to take you out of your. I don't want to take you out of your beauty nap. You know what I'm saying?
That's okay. That's okay. It's funny. I was talking to someone just a few days ago, maybe yesterday, about Asir and how like just the stuff he talks about and how like it's just so powerful. So
yes, and him and Dr. B will be at the
Dr.
Gathering of
B.
Masters. It's already sold out, and only the live stream is available. People, it's already
That's
sold
incredible.
out. We're done. I'm the MC, so I'll be emceeing Jewel Pookrum and Sister Myra L and Quita for the first day, and for Dr. B and Asir and Yaki, the awake Dr. Yaki. Let me get he got his PhD. Let's give him that respect, Doctor.
Put some respect on it.
Put some respect. They went through this white institution so he can get those cosmetics, like Dr. Africa said, and he's following in the lineage of Dr. Africa, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Moss, and all that. He has the mural of on them on the wall.
Oh, I
in
love
his back.
that.
I was looking. I was like, oh, this brother
ancestry veneration at its finest.
Ancestry veneration at its finest, and open a clinic. The man and
like,
just
and he grows his own.
Grows his own food and herbs and stuff. Yes. And that's what Paul Goss used to do. That's what, because Dr. Africa used to get it from Paul Goss, the herbs from Paul Goss out of Phoenix. So Paul Goss, you see, everybody, he's taking a bit of everybody, and that's so beautiful. And he's a matter of fact, his birthday is tomorrow. That's right, July 11th is his birthday. Yaki Awakening's birthday is tomorrow, family. So make sure y'all hit up his website, YakiAwakening.com, and show him some love. I'm showing him some love already. I support that man 100%, and I send people to him. I give everybody three choices. I give you the old school with Dr. Sabi's wife, Ma'a. I give you the new school, which could be KT, the arts degree, and Yaki. I give you all of that. I give you all the other sisters that are doing it. Dr. Shakira. I give everybody. I try to, because there's enough wealth to go around. I love that. Everybody.
Yes.
There's enough to go around for everybody. And that's what I feel from my heart. From my heart. And everybody, don't forget to vote for your brother now. We still getting these votes in.
I voted a long time ago.
You can vote again. You can vote again with a different email. You can vote again with a different email now. I'm going to let y'all know that. Oh, yeah. You can keep on voting if you have different emails. And, of course, if you buy one ticket right now, they got a BOGA thing. Buy one ticket, get a ticket free for the conference. And I'm going to be there, Dr. B, Michael Beckworth. We got some surprises coming in, all of that. You never know. You never know if Ian Levanzant might pop in. You never know. She's been on the show with Dr. B numerous times, so she's doing her thing. And I want Carrie Ann to come down for this event, of course. I tell her I want her to come down if she could make it for October. I need her to come down so I could have her say a few words at least, so people get be introduced to her, because we met at Tassili's, and Tassili is doing the libation. But at least if you could say a few words, and represent and just chill and bring some products. I got a vendor's table for you if you want. If you want to do tarot, if you want to do some spiritual work, I got a table for you so you can make a little bit of circulation. I've got something for you, just in case. You know what I'm saying? To make sure, because that's what it's all about. Because they support the vendors. That's why I'm charging real less price for this all-day event. It's a real $25 right now. It probably go up to the whole day event. It's from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Food is going to be there. Drinks is going to be right in one place. And there's going to be an African indigenous Moorish market right there in this venue. It's a brand new venue in Stone Mountain that I'm negotiating right now. So all of the details as far as where the venue is going to be in Stone Mountain Village, Black-owned venue, is going to be on the site, on my link tree on September 1st. So it's going to be a great parking, great area, Black owned and operated. I love the brothers and sisters there, Jerome and Lisa. So I'm working with them, and they're beautiful energy. So give them a round of applause. And but again, family, thank y'all for coming out. Thank everybody for coming out. Remember, share this link, because the information that brother Professor James Small, the elder, the living legend, provided, and what Ambassador Prince Michael provided was very powerful. And he's on the ground. He's in Kenya. He's not in. I thought he was in America. That's why I hit him up. He's in Kenya. I didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? So
that's amazing. Because what time is it there in Kenya right now? And he came on. That's pretty cool.
and they're about to do a prayer right now. They're about to do a
Yeah.
meditation prayer in all white. So they're about to
Yeah.
go in. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I know Carrie Ann wish she was out there.
What? Oh my gosh, that
I
would have
know it.
been amazing.
Oh man, but Carrie Ann, thank you very much. Go get your rest. We're gonna talk. I'm gonna close
Thank
this out
you.
for us, and I love and respect you. And there's nothing you can do
Likewise.
about it.
Likewise.
All right, I'll talk to you later. All right. All right.
Okay, have
Peace
a
and love.
wonderful night.
You
Bye.
too. Good night. Good night. All right. That's my dear Carrie Ann, man, doing what she loved to do, man. And family, remember, support CarrieAnnIngram.com, CarrieAnnIngram.com, CarrieAnnIngram.com. Make sure y'all support this sister. She's also a part of my team. She'll be right there at my vendor's table helping me out alongside with my son. Her name is Golda X. She'll be helping me out because she has her candles and stuff, and I have my stuff that I got to sell, but I'm going to be at the stage back and forth, and I ain't got no time to be running back and forth trying to handle business when I can have people help me out. It's always good to delegate. And remember, if you want some good cardology, astrology, and numerology, contact Nina Diamond, aka Nina Dorham. She is the mother of Aquarius Maximus. She is the mother of Aquarius Maximus. So make sure you support her at levinuniversity.com. That's levinuniversity.com. Of course, I always shout out my brother Lloyd-Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Hit him up. That's the elder. That's the Baba. My son, Green Studio NYC. This is his business alongside Jeff. Big up to Jeff and the whole crew over there. And don't forget, if you want to book a session with me, text me your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And I have two different sessions now, Batman. I got the 15-minute and the 30-minute sessions now. So they're two different prices. And if you want it, you can have it. The 15-minute session is actually pre-recorded. The 15-minute sessions are actually pre-recorded with your name breakdown in email. I break down your name and its detailed meaning in email from a mathematical perspective to see how I can help you. And so you can be guided with your own name. And if you're doing the 30 minutes, I break down your whole name. The 15 minutes only your first name and your birthday, but the 30-minute session is your whole name is broken down on the recording, but also you get to talk to me and converse with me in the session. That's how we're doing it. Remember, Udemy.com. We have our course on Udemy.com. That's right. Holistic Numerovation. And don't forget, get all my books on Amazon.com. Just Google up King Simon on Amazon or go to my link tree /King Simon the Numerovator. My new book is out, family. The children's book is out. Sometimes you got to get away from I got to get away from a little bit of the numbers stuff because I know you can get inundated with a lot of the numbers. I don't want to be sounding like 23, the movie with Jim Carrey and all that, or knowing because, they think I'm crazy and exaggerate and going crazy with the numbers. So sometimes I had to produce this book because it's just a good basic history book for children. Let we tell the story. Look at that artwork. We're the first to come up with musicology to put the rhythm in our soul and make us rock steady. That's based off of one of my reggae songs from back in the day. And remember, if you want the hardcover for the Numerovation, the hardcover, the limited edition collector's item hardcovers are available for $88.88. And last but not least, I want to close out with a prayer for not just Kenya, but for all of us melanated people, because whether you're high complexion or low complexion or darker complexion, you are melanated, you have melanin. For those people that are striving to be right in anything that you do, I want to send a prayer from Dr. Blair out. But first, I got to give this affirmation. I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for my life, Dr. B. And last but not least, Dr. Delbert Blair's prayer to the world. Please, universal creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live, on which we live. Please open our minds, our spirits, and our souls to receive only truth in your love now. Again, that was Dr. Delbert Blair that gave us that prayer. Give us a round of applause. The late, great Dr. Delbert Blair, man. Enough respect to him. Family, thank y'all very much. Once again, thanks, Professor James Smalls, and thanks to my dear brother, Prince Ambassador Prince Michael for coming in, the representative from the Ngiro tribe, Ngiro clan elders from out of Kenya. He came on short notice, and make sure you support everything that he's doing, because he's out there on the floor, on the grounds right now in Kenya, doing the work that a young brother is supposed to do. You heard Professor Smalls. Professor Smalls said he wishes, because he had surgery on his knees, he wishes his knees wasn't so bad right now. He'll be out there in Kenya too. And Professor loved to travel. He's been out all over Africa. So he would have been there, right there in the mix of those young people, because that's his spirit. He's a master number 22. He would have been, the name Michael is add up to a master number 22 and a master number 33 in both systems of numerology. So, man, Prince Michael is out there. That's a powerful energy out there. And just Professor Smalls calling me on a last minute to show some love for Kenya. That just shows the spirit of our elder. He's an elder, not an older. He's an elder with wisdom and knowledge and work he has put in on the ground. He's not an older. You got some old fools out there, but when you have elders at his pristine estate of who he is and what he does and what he has done and the work that he's done in Africa, throughout America, throughout the Caribbean, and you got to give him that respect. Professor James Smalls, you got to give him that love, because he's done his work. He's done his work. That's his email. That's his Cash App. That's all of that. That's his website. All of this is on the front right now. Show him love. If you can't spread love to me and Carrie Ann right now, spread love to Professor Smalls for even still being here. His email, csmalls1926 at AOL.com. Send, if you're doing PayPal, do friends and family. And with Ambassador, you can go straight to his link tree. He has all the links to everything on Ambassador Linktree / Ambassador Prince Michael. That's Linktree / Ambassador Prince Michael. Like Michael Jackson said, they don't really care about us. Michael Jackson's last tour was about that. And then he got wiped out. They don't really care about us. And you heard what Ambassador Prince Michael said. It started on June the 25th, the anniversary on Michael's transition, because they don't really care about us. The people in the politics and their madness and those disrespectful politicians, we got to show some strength all over the world. All right. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening, family, wherever you're tuning in, whatever you're locked in, whenever you're watching. Tomorrow morning lesson will be the numerovational profundity. You can look up that word. I'll be breaking it down tomorrow. Numerovational profundity, expressed by King Simon Kweku. It's a Ghanaian word that means born on Wednesday. And Wednesday is the number of adapting and connected to the number 5 of freedom and adaptability and communication. So tomorrow around 10, either 10:10 or 11:11 a.m. in the morning, I'll be breaking this down, and you're going to see why I called it the numerovational profundity. It's a powerful word. That's why I'm using it. All right. Have a great day, afternoon, or evening. Be safe, be great, and I love you. Peace out. Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
Hey everyone, it's Billy Carson, aka Forbidden Knowledge. I am thrilled to introduce to you an extraordinary weekend event happening right here in Miami, Florida on August 3rd and 4th. It's none other than the second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards weekend. After the tremendous success of last year's event with over 1,200 attendees from around the globe, we knew we had to make this year's event even more spectacular. On Saturday, we have a captivating conference lined up featuring world-renowned speakers such as Muhammad Ibrahim, Merkaba 13, Robert Grant, Billy Carson, and a women's panel panel hosted by Elizabeth Carson. Following the conference, we'll set sail for a VIP yacht cruise at sunset where you'll have the chance to mingle with your favorite nominees and celebrity guests, all hosted by yours truly, Billy Carson. On Sunday, August 4th, kicks off with a Forbidden Knowledge book publishing signing event, followed by the highly anticipated second annual Forbidden Conscious Awards. This is a red carpet affair, so come dressed to impress. Remember, last year we surprised a lucky guest with an Audi A4 during the awards, and this year we're upping the ante with a chance to win a Mercedes-Benz. So make sure you secure your tickets early. This event is sure to sell out quickly. I cannot wait to see each and every one of you there for what promises to be an unforgettable weekend.
Numerovation with King Simon. Text me now at 347-496-1022. You could also take my course if you want to, but do text me for your sessions at 347-496-1022. You could also get my books on Amazon at Linktree/King Simon the Numerovator. Remember, you can book your session and get it done right now. 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. King